What's good, YouTube? Statement Sports Cards here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. I know this is late, but Darren from Return to Collecting had a VR going on to celebrate 100 subscribers, and Darren is an amazing member of this community, someone who supports a lot of other channels out there. And I just thought his idea was too dang good. I couldn't get it in by the deadline. It's completely okay. This community has been more than generous to me. Drew won his prize, what many call the best league leader card. So really cool there. But the topic he wanted us all to share was our top 10 dream cards. Now, this is something that I've thought about doing a similar video in the past, but this VR and the great responses to it have really made me push to finally being able to get this out. So I hope you all do enjoy. I'm going to give 5 that I think are actually attainable one day. Not that I will necessarily attain all 5. And then 5 that are probably never going to be in my collection, but I would absolutely love to own one day. So starting with number 1, it's a simple one. It's the least rare card on my list, but an iconic one nonetheless. The 1954 Topps Hank Aaron PSA Pop 5,169, and I'm sure that number will only go up. This is not a rare card by any means, but man, is it one of the most iconic cards in the hobby. A lot of you know that my lucky number is 44. I wore it in high school, and a big part of the reason was me liking the double numbers. And Hank Aaron, you don't get better 44 than that. The card was in the Sandlot movie. Babe Ruth prospected it in that movie, which was really funny to see. And it's just a card that I think is truly important in the hobby and one that is attainable. Eric Those Back Pages always said there's never a bad time to buy a Hank Aaron rookie. I've had a $500 firewall with my collecting. I've never even looked at an item seriously that was priced at over $500. And even though the Aaron rookies have went up a lot, it was not within my firewall range any time before the boom. So hope to own this card one day. It's probably going to be a nice looking one, maybe an authentic altered, but a card that I will be really proud to own in my collection one day. The next one, sticking to that 54 Topps design, the 54 Wilson Frank set is really interesting to me. Definitely a lot tougher than the Topps cards that have the similar design. And while there's tons of great cards in the set, the Williams is the chase card. Many people love the Roy Campanella. I think this Bob Feller is the best card in the entire set. Just the image, the colors are very complimentary of both the Cleveland uniform as well as the hot dogs. And man, just a really cool image of Bob Feller, a guy that I really enjoy collecting, and I would be honored to own this one day. When I buy a Wilson Frank card, I'm going to try and make it the Feller. Next one here, Don Field of Dreams will love this because it's not only Stan Musial, but he is kneeling. In 1955, Rawlings had a sponsored Stan Musial glove, and you can still find the boxes out there complete with the 6 cards on the lid. This is card number 2. I think it's just the best image. Him kneeling in the on deck circle with the autograph placement, I think it just looks fantastic. I love the blue on that card. And that set of 6 is pretty obscure. It's a PSA Pop 16. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get my hands on one of these, but a card that a lot of people don't really know about, and I just absolutely love them. Definitely check these out if you're not familiar with the Rawlings from 55. My next one is the 1948 Caramelo Deportivo Orestes Minoso in a PSA Pop 24. So a very obscure overseas issue, Mini Minoso, as you can see on that picture of my desk. I absolutely love collecting. I have his Hall of Fame plaque on my desk. And just a player that means a lot to me in the hobby. I love my 54 Red Heart autograph of his. I love my 52 Topps rookie, but this is the Minoso card to own. And man, I would just love to own this one day. They're not going to get any cheaper. There's not going to be more turning up in some finds, but I hope that I can own this one day because it truly is the card of that set. And it is just an amazing looking card, very akin to the 48 Bowman set. And the attainable Carl Yastrzemski on my list is the 1974 Topps Deckle Edge Carl Yastrzemski. It's a PSA Pop 34. Now, these were a test issue by Topps in 1974 where they married the beautiful 1969 Topps Deckle Edge cards with the 1970 and 71 Supers. So these are oversized, and they have a different decal that doesn't look quite as scrapbooky as the 69s, but still has that same effect. And on the back, they actually have nice little newspaper clipping displays, which are really awesome to look at. I love oversized cards. Carl Yastrzemski is my favorite player to collect, and this is one that it's hard to find. A lot of the ones that have sold recently are high grade, but I think that this is an attainable Carl Yastrzemski for my collection one day. Now that we're done with the 5 that I think I can get, let's get to the 5 that I'm pretty sure I will never own. Maybe if I win the lottery or become more successful, these could become an option. But the 1958 Hires Root Beer set, a lot of people have seen them. They were what was supposed to be the 1956 Bowman design, but the test issue cards are even more obscure than the root beer ones, and they also came with tabs. Willie Mays Hires Root Beer test card is a very desirable card all by itself, but with the tab, it is a PSA Pop 3. Absolutely insane card. One sold at auction for about $9,800 2 years ago, and it is just an amazing piece of baseball card history. Hires Root Beer, and I'm a sucker for that colors match. That orange with the San Francisco, Giants at the time, that's just an amazing combination there, and I would love to own that card one day. Next one is one of my favorite players, Frank Robinson, 1956 Kahn's Weiners, PSA Pop of 14. This was in the hot dogs. So the 68, 69 Kahn's Tony Perez that I picked up at the Shriner show, that was a wrapper around the meat, but these early 50s Kahn's cards were actually in the meat packaging. And that just adds a whole nother element of condition and then being thrown out. Frank Robinson has his 57 Topps rookie card, but 56 was his rookie year. Topps did not make a card of him, but Kahn's did. And this is just such a really great image of a young Frank Robinson. The old Kahn's cards in the black and white have a really special place. I wanted to get one of the colorful ones first, but getting a 56 or 57 Kahn's card of a great player would be amazing. But if I could pick any of them, money not being an issue, it would be the 56 Kahn's Frank Robinson. Next is a card that Orlando from A Collector's Dream actually owns. The 1888 Goodwin Champions Cap Anson, PSA Pop 68, so a little more common than a few of the things that I've been showing, but still really hard. I do not own any cards yet from the 1800s. Most likely my option will be a old Judge card from 87 of a common player. But this set, the Goodwin Champions set, go check out Orlando's videos on it. He has the complete set and is very knowledgeable. But the artwork on these is truly beautiful, especially the Anson. I know a lot of people like the King Kelly in the set, and there's a lot of great cards of all different types of people, Buffalo Bill included. But the Cap Anson, just the combination of him being baseball's first real superstar and the mustache and the sky behind him. I just love this card, and if I could afford one, I would have it because I truly think it's one of the most beautiful cards ever made. Next, rounding out would be my pre-war Grail, the card that if I could pick up any pre-war card, it would be this, the 1909 T204 Ramley of Walter Johnson, PSA Pop 34. This card, the design is so iconic. I fell in love with it from the Perez Steel Masterwork set, where that was one of the designs that they reissued for those postcards. It is so cool. The image of Walter Johnson is something that you would see in a family scrapbook, and he looks really young in the picture. The wool sweater uniform on him, it is just an iconic card. And for your money, this card, with it being so scarce and being Walter Johnson, I would buy it over a 52 Topps Mickey Mantle all day, any day for the same price. This is an amazing card, and only 34 of them out there. I would be super honored to own one if money ever broke my way someday. But the last one, you knew I had to have a Carl Yastrzemski on there. And while there are many Carl Yastrzemski test issues and different things that could be considered the grail of Carl Yastrzemski cards, to me, it's the 1960 Topps Venezuelan Carl Yastrzemski. It's a PSA Pop 23. I couldn't find a beat-up example. I would not be able to afford one that is as beautiful as this 4. But the Venezuelan Topps cards are so much more scarce than the basic Topps cards that were printed in the United States. And Carl Yastrzemski's rookie card being my favorite card of all time, the only thing that's better than the actual rookie itself is the Venezuelan. They actually started the Venezuelan Topps cards in 1959, and this is one of the biggest Venezuelan Topps rookies out there. So I hope you guys all enjoyed my take on my top 10 dream cards. Darren, I'm sorry I didn't get this in on time, but I'm happy to still support you and keep the essence of your VR going. This was really fun to do. And I want all of you below to let me know what your pre-war and post-war dream cards are, even if you didn't do a VR. I would love to hear about it. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next one.